Victoria Hayes had once been the shining star of Ravenwood Enterprises, sharp, ambitious, and devoted. Her loyalty to the company and its CEO, Marcus Whitlock, had made her a respected figure in the corporate world. But loyalty, she would later learn, was a fragile currency. 2 years ago, everything had been stolen from her. Marcus had framed her for embezzlement, planting evidence and manipulating witnesses. The board believed his lies. Overnight, Victoria went from being the youngest vice president in the company's history to a disgraced outcast. But Marcus had underestimated her. Victoria didn't disappear. She rebuilt herself in silence. While the world believed she was ruined, she was plotting. Every sleepless night, every humiliation, and every whisper of betrayal became fuel for a fire that refused to die. Now, she was ready. The evening was cold and damp as Victoria entered Ravenwood's grand ballroom. The company was celebrating a lucrative merger, Marcus's triumph. The chandeliers glittered, the champagne flowed, and Marcus basked in admiration. Victoria, cloaked in elegance, slipped through the crowd, unnoticed at first. Her presence was a ghost returning to the living. When Marcus finally saw her, his confident smile faltered. For the first time in years. "Victoria," he breathed, his glass trembling ever so slightly. "Surprised," she said smoothly, her crimson lips curling into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The guests murmured, curious about the tension thickening the air. Victoria leaned closer. "Enjoy the party, Marcus. It's your last." Her plan had been meticulous. Over the past year, she had gathered proof of Marcus's crimes, offshore accounts, falsified contracts, and even bribes paid to silence board members. But tonight wasn't about quietly exposing him. Tonight was about humiliation. At the height of the celebration, Victoria took the stage. Her voice cut through the music like a blade. "Ladies and gentlemen," she announced, "I was once accused of betraying Ravenwood. But tonight, the truth comes out." Screens lit up around the ballroom, displaying documents, videos, and damning evidence. Marcus's carefully constructed empire of lies crumbled in front of his investors, partners, and closest allies. Gasps filled the room. The champagne soured in their mouths. Marcus lunged toward the stage, his face twisted with rage. "This is slander. She's lying." But his words drowned in the flood of proof. The board members turned pale. Lawyers in the crowd whispered urgently into their phones. The mighty Marcus Whitlock was unraveling before their eyes. Victoria stepped down from the stage, her heels clicking against the marble floor like the tolling of a bell. She walked up to Marcus, who was now cornered by his own fear. "You taught me that power comes at any cost," she said softly, her eyes glinting. "But you forgot one thing. Betrayal breeds vengeance." Marcus's empire collapsed in a single night. Within days, federal agents raided his offices. His accounts were frozen, his reputation destroyed. The man who had once stood above everyone else was reduced to a desperate figure facing prison. And Victoria, she didn't just reclaim her name, she became the woman who had taken down Marcus Whitlock. Investors sought her out, news outlets praised her resilience, and her story became the talk of the city. But for Victoria, it wasn't about fame or money. It was about balance. On a rainy night, weeks later, she visited the old office where her career had been stolen. She stood by the window, watching the city lights blur in the storm. In her hand, she held a single red rose, the symbol of both love and vengeance. She dropped it onto the floor, where Marcus had once signed her fate, and whispered to the empty room, "Justice isn't given, it's taken." As she walked away, thunder rumbled in the distance, echoing her triumph. Victoria Hayes was no longer a victim. She was the storm itself.